Welcome to the last session, session 8. In this, we have to study the derivation of sudden closure of valve and pipe is elastic. The sketch will be remain same as a previous one, but here we have to consider the material is pipe material is elastic. Consider the pipe AB in which water is flowing as shown in figure. Let the thickness T of the pipe wall is small compared to the diameter D of the pipe, and also let the pipe is elastic. Let E is equal to modulus of elasticity of the pipe material. 1 by M is equal to Poisson's ratio of pipe material. P is equal to increase of pressure due to water hammer. T is equal to thickness of the pipe wall. D is equal to diameter of the pipe. When the valve is closed suddenly, a wave of high pressure of intensity P will be produced in the water. Due to this high pressure P, circumferential and longitudinal stresses in the pipe wall will be produced. Let Ft is equal to longitudinal stress in pipe, Fc is equal to circumferential stress in pipe. The magnitude of these stresses are given as Ft is equal to P into D by 4T and Fc is equal to P into D by 2T. Now, from the knowledge of strength of material, we know strain energy in pipe material per unit volume. As per this, the equation 1 by 2E into ft square plus fc square minus 2 ft into fc by m. This will be simplified equal to 1 by 2e into p square into d square by 16t square plus p square into d square by 4t square minus p square into d square by 4mt square. Taking 1 by m is equal to 1 by 4, that is Poisson's ratio equals 1 by 4. So the strain energy stored in pipe material per unit volume will be equal to 1 by 2 into p square into d square by 4t square, that will be p square into d square by 8 et square. The total volume of pipe material is equal to pi d into t into L. So total energy, strain energy stored in pipe material is equal to strain energy per unit volume into total volume. P square into d square by 8 et square into pi d into t into L is equal to p square into pi into d to the power 3 into L by 8 et is equal to p square into pi d square into dl by 8 et is equal to, finally we get p square into a into dl by 2 et. This is the equation for that condition. Next topic is pipe network. Now now for the previous derivation continues here, it's not stopped. Now loss of kinetic energy of water half into m into v square is equal to half into rho into a into L into v square, because m is equal to rho into L. Gain of strain energy in water is equal to half into p square by k into volume is equal to half into p square by k into Al. Then loss of kinetic energy of water is equal to gain of strain energy in water into plus strain energy stored in pipe material. So half into rho into a into L into v square is equal to half into p square by k into a into L plus p square into a into dl by 2 et. This will be simplified and finally we arrive this formula, that is v into square root of rho by 1 by k plus d by et. Now next is the topic pipe network. This is the pipe network, flow in, these are the different nodes, and flow out. This is the pipe network sketch, how it flows here from A to F, from A to B, from B to C, from C to G, from F to G, from G to E, and G to H, and G to D. Finally, these all water will flow out here. These all points are called as junction nodes. About pipe network, there is no derivation for this, just you have to read out the brief definition of pipe network. A pipe network is an interconnected system of pipes forming several loops or circuits. The pipe network is shown in the previous slide figure. The examples of such networks of pipes are municipal water distribution systems in cities and laboratory supply system. In such system, it is required to determine the distribution of flow through the various pipes of the network. The following are the necessary conditions for any network of pipes. The flow into each junction must be equal to flow out of the junction. This is due to continuity equation. That is Q is equal to AV. The algebraic sum of head losses round each loop must be 0. This means that each loop, the loss of head due to flow in clockwise direction must be equal to loss of head due to flow in anti-clockwise direction. The head loss in each pipe is expressed as HF is equal to R into Q to the power N, where the value of R depends upon length of pipe, diameter of pipe, and coefficient of friction of the pipe. The value of N for turbulent flow is 2. We know that the Darcy's-Weisbach equation, that is HF is equal to 4 into F into L V square by D into 2G is equal to 4 into F into L into Q by A whole square is equal to Q by A is nothing but expression for V from the continuity equation, then D into 2G. Finally, this equation will be R into Q square. This head loss will be positive when the pipe is part of loop and the flow in the pipe is clockwise. Generally, the pipe network problems are difficult to solve analytically, hence the methods of successive approximations are used. Hardy-Cross method is one such method which is commonly used. Just to remember this method, and it is only theory you don't have any derivation and you don't have any numericals in this Hardy-Cross method. The procedure for Hardy-Cross method is as follows. First one, in this method a trial distribution of discharges is made arbitrary but in such a way that continuity equation is satisfied at each junction or node. With the assumed value of Q, the head loss in each pipe is calculated according to equation. Third one, now consider any loop. The algebraic sum of head losses round each loop must be 0. This means that each loop, the loss of head due to flow in anticlockwise direction must be equal to loss of head due to flow in anticlockwise direction. Now calculate the net head loss around each loop considering the head loss to be positive in clockwise flow and to be negative in anticlockwise flow. If the net head loss due to assumed values of Q round the loop is 0, then the assumed values of Q in that loop is correct. But if the net head loss due to assumed values of Q is not 0, then the assumed values of Q are corrected by introducing the correction delta Q for the flows till the circuit is balanced. The correction factor delta Q star is obtained by using this equation. You don't remember this one, but just you remember. You don't need equation because you are not supposed to solve any numericals. Then fifth one, the value of delta Q comes out to be positive, then it should be added to the flows in the clockwise direction and subtracted from the flows in anticlockwise direction. Sixth one, some pipes may be common to two circuits, then the two corrections are applied. Seventh one, after the corrections have been applied to each pipe in a loop and all loops, a second trial calculation is made for all loops. The procedure is prepared till delta Q becomes negligible. This ends hard D cross method and it ends session 8.